The following episode of the Maui Chamber of Commerce's Business Matters radio show was originally broadcast on February 8, 2022.
Aloha and welcome Maui to the Maui Chamber of Commerce Business Matters radio show sponsored by Mokulele Airlines. I'm your host, Pamela Tumpot, president of the Maui Chamber of Commerce. And today we're going to speak with the CEO of MEO about programs for farmers, graduates, and youth on Molokai, rental and mortgage assistance programs, and MEO's partnership with Halimaho'olo Ke Kahuna Affordable Housing Project. We're going to speak with a local refrigeration and air conditioning business owner and how they have adjusted since COVID and things that they're doing that are new in their business, and speak with an award-winning business owner for their teas and herbal infusions that are healthy and delicious. But this morning, we're going to start off with a woman that many know in this community, Debbie Cabebe. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Maui Economic Opportunity. She joined MEO in 2000 as the organization's Chief Human Resources Officer. In 2011, she was promoted to the Chief Operating Officer and was promoted to the Chief Executive Officer in 2017. She is also a past president of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association, a current member at large, and she is involved and volunteers her time in numerous organizations. Debbie is also a nationally certified senior professional in human resources and has a certificate for results-oriented management and accountability. So she is a trainer in that realm as well. She has been recognized by Pacific Business News as a 2019 Woman Who Means Business honoree and the Maui Nonprofit Executive Director of the Year. Aloha, Debbie, and good morning.
Aloha, good morning, Pam. Nice to talk to you this morning.
Nice to have you on the show again. You folks are doing so many exciting programs, so I'd love to hear about the Aihua Farmers Market project that you're working on, along with Project Graduation and Youth Services on Molokai.
Yes, thank you. Well, the Aihua Farmers Market project is funded by OHA. It was a grant opportunity that we responded to. You know, we've been running the Maui County Senior Farmers Nutrition Market Program, and for seniors getting coupons at these local farms. And so we thought we would expand that to families. So this will serve households that are of Native Hawaiian ancestry, no income attached. At least one member in the household has to be Native Hawaiian. One member of the household has to have been impacted by COVID-19, and they have to be residents of Maui Island. Unfortunately, or fortunately, due to the recent spike in the Omicron, almost everybody's going to meet that impacted by COVID-19 criteria. So, but you can get $150 per household.
Very nice. Wow.
And monthly through September 30th, 2022, or until funds are exhausted. And I just went up to the Upcountry Farmers Market this past weekend with my daughter for the first time. What a lovely venue.
It really is.
It is.
I live up country, so yes, it is a great venue.
Gosh, I was so impressed. It was fabulous, and we do have a lot of certified vendors there. So if they're interested in the Aihua Farmers Market project, they can go to our website at www.meoinc.org and apply. They can call us at 249-2990, and we'll get you hooked up.
I have a quick question on that, Debbie. When you mentioned they have to have one member in their family who's Native Hawaiian, this isn't like housing, right? There isn't any blood quantum requirement. Is there any percentage on this, or it's just as long as somebody's Native Hawaiian and has a percentage that's Native Hawaiian?
Yes, there's no percentage, but they just need something showing a birth certificate or some kind of signed determination letter.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for that question. It's a great question. And then Project Grad, which is a program that we administer for the County of Maui every year, and that's to help high schools put on alcohol, drug-free graduation celebrations immediately following the graduation ceremonies. And County has been funding this back since Charmaine Tavares was the mayor. So it's been quite some time, but the schools apply, and we subsidize some of the fees for the low-income individuals. So schools can get up to $5,300 to use toward their project graduation celebration. And back when my children were in high school, I was very involved as a parent on project graduation. So it's a great program. And if anybody's interested, Gay Sibonga, our COO, is administering that program. She's already had her orientation meeting, but if anybody has any questions, they can give Gay a call at 249-2990. And again, that's Gay Sibonga, and she's overseeing the project graduation.
And what is the deadline for applying?
March 1st.
Okay. Oh, that's great. Okay.
So it's coming up.
Okay, schools, we hope you're listening this morning.
Yeah, and she's been,
reaching
the
out.
schools have been really helpful, helping us reach out, because it's a parent-driven event or activity. The parents change, right? So It's just making sure we're in touch with the right contact for the different schools, because we don't want to leave any money on the table. We want to be able to help as many kids participate as possible.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And then something really exciting, we've been running youth prevention programs on Maui Island for, numerous years, longer than I've been here, and I've been here 22 years. So we do evidence-based in-school and out-of-school activities around suicide prevention, bullying prevention, underage drinking prevention, smoking prevention, all of that. Suicide prevention being a big one.
Right.
And we kept looking at, Molokai has some high rates of suicide and some other challenges, and we wanted to figure out a way to support them. So we were able to, we have an earmark in the federal budget, if it ever gets passed, for $100,000 to run underage drinking, all our prevention programs in Molokai. But aside from that, a private foundation, Nesturo Futuro Foundation, came forward and gave us $100,000 to start now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so we just, we're in the process of hiring somebody. We're down at the final part of the, pre-employment processing, and then that person will be up and running. And then the County of Maui had a little bit of funding to just focus on the suicide prevention portion. And so Dane Ka'ai, who is our Youth Services Director, is going to go ahead and start that now and run that to June 30th. So we're trying to work with the schools, the middle school and the high school, because they go into the classes during school time and do the prevention pieces, and then like a training curriculum, basically. And then they do out-of-school activities to reinforce what they've learned in that class.
Well, I'm so glad that you folks are doing that. And, I think a lot of people don't realize I have connections because I have a son who has bipolar disorder, but there are so many youth that are struggling with these issues. And it seems to have, like all things, been exacerbated by COVID. And years ago, we had the Molokini unit, and we haven't had the Molokini unit open on Maui. That was the youth Molokini unit. The adult unit has remained open, but the youth unit has long been closed. And I can honestly say it saved my son's life. So to get these programs out in the schools is such an important piece. And I'm really glad that you have gotten a foundation and additional county funding to do that, because our kids need this kind of help right now. Adults do as well, but our youth really need this. And you're setting the education that hopefully will last them a lifetime and show them there are other ways.
Yeah, and it's evidence-based curriculum that they use, so it has proven results, and it's our youth services team. They're fabulous. They really are so good with the kids, very engaged. So I'm excited, very excited.
I am so excited for you, and it's just really needed. And I think it's awesome that you folks have the funding to do these outstanding programs. Yeah,
we are very blessed, for sure.
Well, you are, and you've served so many, and you have such a long track record of that. And I know that you're going to share with us. Let's talk a little bit about the other thing that you've been doing for quite some time, which is your mortgage and rental assistance program.
Yeah, so we've been a rental assistance program provider for the County of Maui for, again, numerous years, way, I don't even know how long. And then with all of the COVID money, we're also administering the Maui Emergency Rental Assistance under Catholic Charities. We're helping them. And then we also have some mortgage and rent assistance through our Community Development Block Grant. So there is money out there. People just have to go on and fill out the application. So the MIRA, the Maui Emergency Rental Assistance, again, is through Catholic Charities, and that can be completed online. The mortgage rent assistance through the CDBG can pay up to 6 months, and that's mortgage and rent or rent. So that's the only mortgage program we have for right now. I know I was speaking to some of our federal legislators, and I think there is some more mortgage money coming, and they're probably going to be putting that out as an RFP to the providers, and hopefully we'll probably apply for that so that we have another pot of money. But, that will pay up to $2,500 a month for mortgage assistance up to 6 months, so that's pretty significant. And then, of course, we have the county rental assistance, which includes security deposits and utility deposits, along with the rent subsidy. So, again, all that information can be found on our website at www.meoinc.org, or they can call 249-2970, and somebody will walk them through the process. And then, we do offer that service in Hana and on Molokai and Lanai, and they can call us, and we can hook them up with the branch managers of those at those locations, and somebody will help them.
I just love all the breadth of your programs because you're there, you're in the local communities, you have people staffed and ready to support all of the folks who call in with these needs. And we just really want to encourage everybody, if you have these needs, and so many do. I mean, the needs have just continued as we've gone through different waves of COVID, but there's help available. So make sure that you reach out to MEO. And then, another hot topic you and I discuss, and it's continuing, and we really want to get on with it, which is affordable housing and rentals. It's on the forefront of everybody's mind. Every time there's testimony on different issues, affordable, whatever the issue is, even if it's not on housing, affordable housing and rentals is constantly mentioned. Can you tell us about your partnership with Halemaho'olu for the Keikahua Affordable Housing Project?
Yeah, so Keikahua is the foundation. It's a property that MEO acquired back in 2005 from Stanford Carr. Initially, we were going to build a farm dwelling out there and run a reentry program. But because of the cost of the infrastructure and a lot of other funding challenges, we never were able to build the dwelling. We did do some cultural workshops and things out there, and we did do some farming for a while. But again, the funding to operate that dried up, and it was hard to keep it going. And really not maybe something we are good at. So, sometimes you have to take a look at, okay, if this is not working, what else can we do? So we tried a couple of different things with the property over the years, and it's basically been sitting there empty, and we didn't want it to get overgrown again. There were, when we took it, when it was given to us, we had to clear it out. There were old cars and couches and drug paraphernalia and all kinds of things on the property. So it's all cleaned out, and been sitting there. I've had staff that have been going out to try to keep it, from getting overgrown again. And so I reached out to Grant Sean at Halemaho'olu, and Halemaho'olu and MEO have been partners in many projects over the years. And he hooked us up with a private developer, High Ridge Costa, and so we're going to be building 120 affordable rental units. So they're still going through all the processes that they need to go through, and thank goodness Grant knows what he's doing, and High Ridge Costa know what they're doing. So we're just kind of sitting back and supporting them in any way we can. But it'll be 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units for low income families, 100% affordable. always going to be affordable. We're leasing them the land for $1 a year for 75 years to make sure that it stays affordable.
Nice.
We're going to continue to own the land, but we just want to see that land do something that's going to benefit the community. And, 120 units, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom, that's a lot of people that can be housed. They're also building a rec center, or they call it a clubhouse for the residents, and then there's also going to be a nonprofit building that MEO will do something there. I think we'll wait until we start having, knowing who our tenants are and determining either, do we need a preschool there? Do we need a youth center there? What do we need,
Fantastic. What is the timing? I know this is a while out. You're getting permits and starting early, but what is the timing that you're projecting for this?
Yeah, I think they're hoping that by 2023 they're going to be breaking ground and things are rolling. So, like anything, there's always some challenges along the way, but we're doing what we have to do, and the technical part of it, I'm not that knowledgeable about it, so I always defer to Grant. But I'm excited. We need the community support. I know some people say, it's not maybe the best location because there's traffic, but quite honestly, there's traffic everywhere in Maui. And if we don't build, we keep talking about it, we're never going to solve this problem. And we're hoping to get, some of these people that are having to live in, 15, 20 people to a home into an affordable rental that they can maintain.
Absolutely. And the other thing that's happening in our community is that a lot of homes are getting sold, as we all know. We're watching and seeing homes get sold. And we're finding a lot of people who have rented in a home for, considerable amounts of time. I mean, sometimes people have lived in the same home for 20 years and rented. And homes are getting sold, and they're having a terrible time finding rentals. And we keep hearing from businesses that some of their employees are having to leave the island because they're moving to the mainland. They just can't find a place to live. And for those who can't afford actually getting into an affordable house and that monthly mortgage, being able to start off in a rental is so, it's a great way to start. And to have it be affordable so that you can build equity and get ready for, home ownership is a great way to start. And to hear 120 units, that's phenomenal. I mean, it's, you and I know, I mean, we're so far behind in this crisis that, and it grows every year, but we need big projects like this where we're starting with 120 units and we can start chipping away.
Well, and I think what's exciting is, having Halimaolu manage the project. I mean, they do a phenomenal job. You look at their properties,
yes, absolutely
take good care of them. They have good systems. I just think it's a win-win for everybody. And I know many of the clients we serve will be eligible and hopefully will be able to be one of the residents there.
I certainly hope so. Now, what does Keikahua mean?
Oh, the foundation.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so we decided to keep that since we had always called it Keikahua. Grant Shun thought, that would be fitting. So it'll be Halimaolu Keikahua.
Oh, very nice. That is very fitting. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Debbie, well, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. We always love having you and hearing about the many programs that MEO is working on. Give everybody your number again and your website so they can get a hold of you for all these different programs.
Website is www.meoinc.org, or you can call 249-2990. And Pam, thank you and the Chamber for all you do. Really appreciate it, and nice talking to you.
Great talking to you, and thank you so much. You have a blessed day.
You too. Aloha.
Aloha. We're going to be right back after a brief commercial from Mokulele Airlines.
Mokulele Airlines operates the largest commuter airline hub in the country, right here in Kahului. Fly Mokulele from Kahului to Molokai, Lanai, Hana, Waimea, Kona, and now Hilo. Mokulele also operates the only flights between Kapalua and Honolulu. There is never a middle seat on Mokulele, and every seat has a window and aisle. Visit mokuleleairlines.com and take your next flight from the newly renovated Mokulele Terminal.
Hey, we're back. If you're just tuning in, this is Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce and Mokulele Airlines. Well, we're getting very close to Valentine's Day, and I just wanted to remind everybody that you can continue to buy amazing locally made products from our Made in Maui County Festival vendors. We have the site up so that you can shop this Valentine's Day just go to madeinmauicountyfestival.com. You can find cherished gifts from those outstanding vendors that you saw this year at our live event. We're hoping to be really big and fully live again at the MAC this year, God willing, and hoping that no further explosions of variants. But just want to remind everybody, madeinmauicountyfestival.com. Find great gifts this Valentine's Day and build some unique and exciting gift baskets. So I'd like to now introduce one of our longstanding chamber members, and it is Steve Sturdivant, the owner and president of Sturdevant Refrigeration and Air Conditioning. Steve has some exciting news about changes that he has been making to his company, and I'm going to let him jump in and share it. But first, aloha and good morning, Steve. How are you?
Good morning, Pam. This is really a good time in the morning to talk, I think.
Awesome, yes.
Too early.
It's a little early. I know the farmers are always perfectly ready, and for business people, they're like, wait, I'm still getting ready to start my day. But so glad to have you on. You started your company with just yourself. You used a van for over 40, you started your company with yourself, a used van, and that was over 40 years ago. And everybody knows Sturdivant air conditioning. It's a household name. You've developed a company with great success and a professional team providing quality products and services. But now you're moving the company in an interesting direction. You're transitioning to an Esop, which is Employee Stock Ownership Plan. Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to do this and how this came about for you?
Well, Pam, I found out that it's easier to start a business than to trans out of a business after 40 years of being here on Maui. And it took me over 5 years of due diligence and trying to figure out, what do I do now after, I've got to eventually, try to make a move toward retirement, So
right.
With that in mind, I tried different things, and Esop just was the best choice for this company, because we've got a lot of, really cool employees, really hardworking employees, and I've gotten really attached to them, and I want to make sure that I make the right decision for them and for me too. And so we decided to go Esop, my wife and I, and to retain and enhance the company culture, of the business. That's the main reason. And then also we found out that ESOPs provide a really benefit to tax. We don't have to pay state or federal income tax. The company will not have to do that because it's an ESOP, because it's centered on the employees. But yet we still have to pay a GET. Nobody can get out of GET. And then maintaining competitive employee benefits. We've always tried to keep ahead of that because it's very competitive here on Maui to keep people busy, and to provide a good income that's going to be able to help them to afford to buy a house and that type of thing. So we try to keep our benefits right up there with the rest of them.
And that's really amazing. So as you make this transition, how does it look day to day? I mean, as you did a number of years of research, you found this model. I know you've been actually learning quite a bit about it. In fact, you went to a conference on it. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, it's always fun to go to a conference and kind of get you excited about what you were doing. But there's a lot of employee involvement with the company. We've gone through education process every week. We have a meeting. We talk to them about different things. We talked about the way how the company's growing and what our goals are, and even what our bottom line is. They
Right.
know how much we're making, and they get excited about it. And if we hit our targets, and each employee knows what our target is, and we can beat that target, then we can give them a bonus on a monthly, or not a monthly, a quarterly basis.
That's a thing that so many people always say. A lot of employees have certain views of where the company's at. And most people will say, we don't really know where the company's at. And this is a really unique model because you're bringing them in. They're going to be employee owners. And so it's really important to, as you're already doing, help them see this is what it takes to run a company. Here's how much revenue we made. Here's what our expenses are, and to really engage them in the goal process, which a lot of business, whether you go to an Esop model or not, helping employees understand what's really happening on the financial side of the business is a great help and it really builds the team when they better understand and really understand the company's goals. And so you've been doing this now. How long have you been starting this process and engaging them in these kinds of weekly meetings?
Well, we converted to a ESOP in 2019, and what was really good about that is that right after that the pandemic hit, and we went through some hard times. So, as the CEO of the company, I'm still involved in the day-to-day, and that's something that was a difference between selling the company to like an outsider rather than going in the ESOP direction, because I want to make sure that the company will continue on, and that's a real big part of it. And so when we hit that low point in our company's history, basically in everybody's history probably,
right.
But,
many.
I was there to help navigate through it because we've been through 40 years. There's been quite a few ups and downs. So
absolutely. Well, and before this. We've been talking about different history at the Chamber. 9/11, for example, the Great Recession, which lasted a very long time. And so you've survived that. And then again, everybody has said the COVID variants have really been the biggest hit businesses have seen. That's the story pretty much everybody tells. There are some industries that have been essential services that weren't hit the same way financially as a majority of our industries have been hit. But yeah, this has been a very challenging time. So that's a really interesting point as well, though, that through this, you're still involved, unlike a sale where you sell the business off to others and then people hope that those new owners retain those great employees. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You've been able to help the employees in this employee-owned business navigate these uncharted waters, keep the company afloat, and give them the best chance of success moving forward.
Yes.
What an exciting program.
Yeah, it's a great program. I think it's not for everybody, but it was for us. And we were a C Corp, and so when we transitioned to the ESOP, then the company that's turned into an S Corp. So if you're a C Corp and you want to go to the ESOP route, then you're in it at a tax advantage as a founder of the company. So there's a lot of benefits for the founders, because the money that is paid to the founder for the company is tax deferred. You can reinvest that money into the stock market or into another business, and you don't have to pay taxes on the capital gains until you actually, cash in on whatever you bought. So it's tax deferred.
That's really amazing. So how many employees are needed to have an ESOP, and what is the cost of moving to an employee-owned company? And how do you evaluate the value of the company?
Well, there's 40 of us, and I was told that the minimum was usually right around 25.
Okay.
Because you have to have enough people working in the company to be able to support it. and the volume too. So, and then it costs right around about $100 to $200,000 to make the conversion over to an ESOP, which includes lawyers and accountants, and there's a lot of paperwork involved. And there's a yearly appraisal of the business that sets the stock price that the employee looks at. They're all about the stock price, because every employee gets gifted stocks. And so each year they see their stock price go up or down, but usually in our case it's been going up steadily. And so the employee can see what their retirement will be looking like.
That's so exciting. Years ago, actually, I worked for a couple of land company, and Maui Land and Pineapple Company had become an ESOP. And so it was a very exciting time to feel that you were a part of that. And that was a very large company, and we certainly didn't get weekly meetings. So it's nice to, as you're turning the company over to the employees and their owners of the company, to really engage them the way that you're engaging them. And how does the process work? Do the employees have to vote? Does every employee have to participate? How does that work?
Well, the main participation of the employees is the key is for them to have a number. And the number is, like the example was, like if you work in a kitchen, say you're bussing tables, and you notice that there's spoons and forks missing, and obviously some people are throwing them away, without any noticing it. So what the person needs to do is try to figure out how to save money for the company, each individual. And as they do that, that's where the educational process comes in. We can see what has happened with us is we've gotten more efficient through the last 3 years because everybody is looking to improve what they're doing on the job.
Right.
And they see that improvement every time we give an update. So it's pretty cool to see the enthusiasm toward moving in the right direction.
Yeah, that's exciting. And so when you make this transition, you let the employees know you're looking to make this transition, and you discuss it with them. Do they get involved in voting, or this is the direction the company's going in, and this is how you can play a role and be a part owner with vesting over time, or how does that work?
Yeah, there's as far as the direction of the company, the management team, which we have 7 people on our management team, and they make all the decisions. And so the individual employee, if they have something, an improvement that we can make, they can make that suggestion, but it's up to the management.
Okay.
And as far as my decision making, it's by committee. So it used to be my way or the highway, and now it's not that way anymore. And in a way, that's really good for me because I don't have that pressure anymore. I don't have that load.
Right. It's shared.
To all my managers, So as far as day to day, the employee doesn't have exactly a lot of voting. There's no voting rights or anything like that. It's just we're all working in the same direction, and the leadership has control of that.
And do people? I know where I worked at Kapalua Land Company many years ago, we were continually vested with the longer we were in service. Is that true with your company?
Yes, every year there's a vesting schedule, just like a retirement plan. It's a 6-year vesting schedule. So the stocks that the people accumulate every year are vested. So after 6 years, they get 100% of that stock. And so depending on what our income was and depending on that employee's tenure as well as how much they make, remuneration, then they get a certain amount of stock. So not only does the stock price go up, they also get more stock every year.
Yeah, it's fabulous. I think this is a really exciting model. I know that we're going to actually do this for those listening. This is going to be a 2-part series because today we're talking to Steve, but the second half of the series we'll be talking with one of the employees and how they feel that this has worked in their lives. And so now you've been doing this since 2019. You've carried the company through where we're at today with COVID, and you're seeing, great improvements being made. So how has that changed, everybody's morale and, because this is a time when so many businesses are struggling to find workers, and you've got a great system. This is also something that I would think would help many companies retain workers.
Yes. Yeah, that's what we found is that, because of the tax benefits that we have, we're able to retain employees, through a harder time. So our overhead has dropped a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gives us a little bit more grace as far as keeping people on. And so we try to do that as much as possible. And the employees know that. And they also see the improvements. The big part of an ESOP, I think, is the communication. And that's what, when you talk to Justin in a couple of weeks, then you might be able to ask him about that. But he's really a good communicator and much better than I am. And he gets people excited about it, and it's not only him, but each other. Everybody is working for the same goal, and they're seeing improvement. So, that's the big thing that keeps people engaged.
Yeah, I think that is so exciting, and to hear how you're doing it and the updates, and they can see the direct correlation between the improvements that they're suggesting and making and how it impacts the bottom line. I think really honestly, that's an education all businesses can do regardless. It really engage employees in the process, and sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. But I think the more our employees understand about the business operation, the more helpful they can be, and it makes them think of new things. So it's really phenomenal. So when you started this journey, was this one of your top ideas, or? You mentioned that you had done research for a number of years. Was this the first thing you thought of, or did you come to this after thinking maybe you had a different model in mind, like selling the business, and then came to this?
Yeah, it was. Well, the first part was mainly selling the business, and I went through. We went through a couple of different offers, and I just saw that there was a tendency to. There's some cowboys out there that want to take the business and flip it, and things like that. And I just didn't. I got tired of seeing that happening, and plus I had some friends that had that same situation happen too. And so, ESOP was not the top. It was actually pretty much down to the bottom until I started really getting into because the concept of ESOP seems really kind of odd, but when you start looking into it, it's very employee-centered. It's employee-centered, but it's also the government makes it really beneficial for the owner to do this, and because of the tax benefits.
Yeah.
So that's what really makes it a win-win for an ESOP owner, a founder selling it to the employees. And the employees, most of the employees are very, very thankful, that I found, and they want to. I'm glad that we did move that direction.
Well, we are glad for you. I think that's an awesome direction to move in. I'm so glad that you found out more about it, and I really appreciate, Steve, you joining us today and sharing it. We're getting Justin scheduled. We're always scheduled a couple weeks out, but we'll bring Justin on the show, so we'll have a nice complimentary show to let you hear the employee side of this great ESOP transition at Sturdivant. So Steve, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a blessed day.
You too, Pam. Thank you.
Thank you. Aloha. All right. If you're just tuning in, this is Business Matters, brought to you by the Maui Chamber of Commerce. Our next guest is Andrea Roode, owner of PONO Infusions and Maui Tea Farm. Good morning, Andrea. How are you?
Aloha, Pam. I'm doing great. I hope you and all the listeners out there are also doing great today.
Thank you so much. Well, it is another beautiful day here in Maui. So it's always fun for me to get up really early and drive down to town, but and be in the
Wonderful.
studio. But I love every time getting to hang out here with Gary at Kauai, and we have fun every Tuesday morning. So you have been doing some amazing things. You were a duo of tea drinkers devoted to health and vitality of people and plants and animals of Hawaii. So I understand that's how PONO Infusions got started. Tell us a little bit more about that and your Maui tea farm.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so my family and I in Upper Kula, we have 2 tea-related companies. We started our retail wholesale line of organic and locally grown teas back in 2010, and that is our company, PONO Infusions. From there, because we are passionate about agriculture, I myself, my professional background is as a registered dietitian. I still work in healthcare here at the hospital part-time at Maui Memorial. We wanted to get more hands-on, quite literally, get our hands in the dirt and begin actually growing tea. Tea is a plant that its scientific name is Camellia sinensis, and it grows in many, many regions of the world. It's originally from southwestern China, but it has been attempted by hobby growers and even some commercial tea gardens on the Big Island to become an industry in a way like coffee became an industry many, many decades ago. We didn't know of anyone really growing tea at a commercial level here on Maui Island, and that gave us a chance to really do a lot of research, experimentation, visiting other farms, branching out into complementary tea-like crops, one of which is mamaki, which is a nettle and a cousin to European nettle that is very important to kanaka maoli, to the Native Hawaiian people, and traditional herbal la'au lapa'au practice. And over the years, we've tweaked recipes and perfected and brought our teas to market, and so we're able to not only incorporate some of our ingredients into PONO Infusions, but we actually expanded to an agritourism and visitor-friendly location in 2021.
Awesome. Now tell us about the acreage and your agritourism operation.
Yeah, so we started off farming about 1.5 acres of tea and mamaki. This is back in 2014 at our family farm in Upper Kula. Now we are farming about 5 acres and looking at increasing from there. We're very blessed to have the opportunity to work in partnership with Haleakala Ranch, and right next door is Skyline Eco Adventure Zip Line. So the land that we manage up there did have existing Camellia sinensis tea plants, as well as mamaki, coffee, olives, many different kinds of citrus. So we're looking at cultivating further acreage up there, in addition to offering tea farm tours, tastings, and actually we have an on-site tea retail shop where we welcome walk-in visitors as well.
Oh, that's so exciting. Okay, well, I want to hear more about your products, and then we're going to circle back so you can tell us how we can come visit the tea farm.
Sure.
So, tell us about the different products you have, and Valentine's Day is coming up. So, anything you can do to promote some amazing products that people might want to pick up for Valentine's Day would be awesome.
Yes, I always love to say that in addition to Valentine's Day, February is American Heart Month, and not only does tea complement all the sweets out there, but it's good for your heart because it has many different polyphenol antioxidants, which are heart healthy and very good for every organ system. But we have 4 products that we regularly have on market. We call them our Aihua line of products, where we feature different parts of the watershed from the sky down to the ocean. So our heavenly blend is our Lani hibiscus and citrus infusion, made with citrus teal, rose hip, and hibiscus, completely herbal and caffeine free. Our mamaki that we grow 100% at our Maui tea farm is another one of our retail products. Again, mamaki is indigenous to the Hawaiian Islands. It's herbal and caffeine free. And not only is it very healthy for people, but it's extremely delicious. We do a long special brew, and we often have it available for tastings at the shop. We have our Mauna chai tea infusion. So that's made with a deep black tea blended with spices like cinnamon, cardamom, and black pepper. So very spicy, reminiscent of volcano flows and volcanic activity. And last but not least, we have our Kai green and white tea infusion. That's got a very good kick for those green tea lovers out there, and a slight citrusy note with the herbs we blend in. We do also have our premium farm-grown Haleakala black tea, and we're just getting into the beginning of our 2022 tea season, so we're completely sold out of 2021 right now. But as I mentioned, we have new acreage that we moved into at our new location, and so from there we're also looking to have 100% Haleakala green tea, as well as Haleakala Gold coffee. That's a blend of different Maui coffees, as well as our own for spring and summer 2022.
Oh, awesome. Well, we can't wait. Fantastic. So you've got great teas available for Valentine's Day, and people can come up and visit the farm and do this new farm. So nice to hear that during all of this craziness with COVID, you folks were building a whole new ag tourism operation. Tell us what people can see when they come up and visit the farm.
Sure. So people can visit in many ways. They can book a farm tour where our farm hands, who are very knowledgeable and experienced, take people through a guided walk, explaining about the different agriculture we have going on there, talking about tea history, tea cultivation, as well as coffee and mamaki. We also do some guided tea tastings where, whether you take a tour or not, you can purchase a tea tasting flight. And we have outdoor facilities, beautiful outdoor picnic tables with views of Upper Kula. So it's even COVID notwithstanding, even if people do want to come inside and have a cup of tea, it's just a beautiful property to sit outside on and enjoy the fresh air and the views and a hot cup of tea. We also, we do have tea retail on site as well. So we have cute little teapots and cups and things like that, which is a nice complement to the agricultural products.
That sounds like so much fun. I absolutely love tea, and had for years. We have some land too, and we were looking up in Kula to grow some tea as well, because it really is such a phenomenal product, and they've been growing it, as you mentioned, on the Big Island for quite some time, and it really, I think this is a great new market opportunity for people in across the state of Hawaii, but also in Maui. I mean, we're starting to see more people do tea, starting to see more entrepreneurs grow mamaki as well. I just helped on a young women's group, younger entrepreneurs, and several of the ladies were already growing mamaki tea. So it's really, I think it's really important that we protect mamaki tea, because the way the nettle plant grows here in Hawaii is very different from the traditional nettle plant. It doesn't have the nettles. And so I think it's really important that we keep that as something that's grown uniquely in Hawaii. But
absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm excited to try yours. I think mamaki is a phenomenal tea, and it has health benefits as well.
Yes, so mamaki is, there's a reason that it is an important herb in the La'au Lapa'au practice. This is because mamaki is a slight, just like nettles are, it's a slight natural diuretic, which can help the body release excess water. Some people may see that in the form of swelling or edema at the base of their feet and legs. In that mild diuretic property that it has, it also can help with blood pressure if people are retaining water as well. So that's one really popular way that people drink it. But also it has no caffeine. It's extremely rich in antioxidants. And this is something that is just a really wonderful part of a well-balanced diet, and something that is only found here, which makes it extra special.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we've got about a minute left, so tell everybody where they can find your phenomenal products, and if you're on social media, and learn more about your tours and things they can do on site.
Great. Well, for folks who are interested in learning more about us, you can find us online at mauiteafarm.com. You can also see our same products that we've been making since 2010 at PONOinfusions.com. On mauiteafarm.com, you can learn about our tea farm schedule for tours, tastings, walk-in hours, and we're on social media at Maui Tea Farm.
Perfect. Well, Andrea, it's so great to have you on today to learn about all the amazing things you're doing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Pam, and look forward to welcoming you up for a cup of tea.
Oh, bless you. I'm going to call. I would love to come up and learn more about what you're doing.
Anytime. You're welcome.
Thank you. You have a beautiful day.
You too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, folks, it's been a great day. I just want to remind everybody, Valentine's Day, visit MadeInMauiCountyFestival.com, where you can find so many wonderfully made local products from Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. And, each and every week we just have such a phenomenal show, but we also want to remind you at the Maui Chamber of Commerce, we're here to serve businesses, help be your leverage team, and help you make needed connections. So don't forget to give us a call, 244-0081. We're always here to help. And we just want to tell you that this has been a wonderful session today. Like we said earlier, we're going to have Sturdivant and have Justin on again to talk about Esops later on. But we've had a phenomenal day with our guests and wish you blessings and best wishes for a spectacular day. And say mahalo to our sponsor, Mokulele Airlines.